All right, so we on. Here we go. Another Friday night. We doing the. Friday night. I'm all screwed up. We'll get there Friday. Another Wednesday. We got a prison talk. We doing our thing. Today's our financial class. We're gonna wait, let a couple of people pop in. But until then, I'm just letting y'all know, man, we got a real positive show going tonight. You know, we got some real heavy hitters up here, some real intelligent, brothers and sisters that's gonna give us some game on you know, how to be financially smart, how to manage that money and do what you do. You know what I mean? Now, I got Sister Nile in Santana that's getting ready to come up. She worked for Exodus. I'm gonna bring her up in a little bit, just tell you about some of the people we got in the back while we get people in the house. Uh, no, she's gonna explain to them what Exodus is. Thank you. But anyway, we're gonna bring her up. She's gonna explain that. Uh, but she's been helping me get my Social Security card. So you get a little brief thing on what it is. Um, I'm having trouble getting my Social Security card. So Exodus has helped me obtain that by contacting the Social Security office and things like that. They work with brothers and sisters just coming out the prison system. You know what I mean? As far as to get back to get their ID and different things that they need to get situated. Good evening, brother Takim Hilton. You know, but like I said, we in the house, man. This is a positive joint, a financial joint. I got my man. I'm real excited. I got beats. Designer. You know what I mean? Me and him was kicking it. We got something real similar. I'm getting ready to bring him in so that we can get right to this because the numbers is picking up and we're doing what we're doing. Everybody's in the house. So we're about to move. Now, when this is my brother Beats, big bro Beats. How you doing, big bro?
Peace. Everything good.
I just wanted them to see you. I'm gonna give them a brief little synopsis about a book that I read while I was locked up that I think would be good for a lot of the brothers and sisters to get. You know what I'm saying? It's called Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. This book taught me a lot from in the prison. One of the first books, business books I got into once I learned to read. Now, let me tell you about that. They got a thing in there that they call the latte factor. The latte factor is like, everybody drink latte in the morning. So you know how you be going to work and, okay, you get up in the morning, you take the bus to work, you know what I mean? $2. You buy a cup of coffee, $5. You know what I mean? That's $7. You buy a donut to go with that's another $2. That's $9. You know what I mean? Then you get to work, you work for a couple of hours, then at 10 o'clock, you buy another cup of coffee. You know what I mean? And another donut. That's $7 plus the $9 from this morning. That turns into $16. You know what I mean? Then you go to lunch, you spend another, let's say, and you already know you don't spend $10 on lunch. Just put another $10, put $13, make it even. So now we got $30. You understand what I'm saying? That you spent by then in lunchtime. And then here it goes 3 o'clock, you get that other break at 3 o'clock. And then now you spend another $5 buying another coffee. You know what I mean? And even a donut. But we'll keep it right there. So we say we got $45 that you spent so far that day. You know what I mean? So now this becomes an everyday program. So now we call it $50 to make it an even number. So now let's say you're spending $50 a day between getting up, buying your coffee in the morning, buying your donut in the morning, you know what I mean? Before you go to work, and then when you get to work at 10 o'clock break, you spend the same thing again. You know what I mean? That's another $14. Then you spend another $7 at 3 o'clock. And then at lunchtime, you spend, let's say, another $20. So call it $50 you spend. So now you spend $50 a day. So you take $50 times 5 days a week you're going to work. That's $250 you're spending on goddamn donuts.
Boom.
$250 you just wasted on donuts and coffee that you could have bought from the house. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, then when you get to multiplying that throughout the year.
You know what I mean? But we're going to just take that. We're going to multiply that by the month. So we take that $250 that you spent for the 5 days and $50 a day buying donuts, playing games. You understand? Not even paying attention to what you're doing. You know what I mean? So then now you got $250 that you spend a week, and you take 4 weeks in a month. So you take $250 times 4. That's $1,000 a month you spending on donuts, man. And everybody wondering why they got a big gut. They talk about they got to go to the gym to try and look sexy like you need. Come on, dog. You know what I mean? Come on, dog. Don't let me be the only sexy one out there, man. Don't let me be the only sexy chocolate out there. I know y'all like chocolate donuts, thing like that, and caramel donuts. That's why I got my man Beats up here. I got a Nerlin over there for the little caramel cutie for the females, and then I got another little cutie over there, baby girl, but they're all intelligent women. So it's not just about their cute complexions and all that. But now, that's $1,000 a month you're spending. 12 months in a year. That's $12,000 a year you spend on donuts. When you look around and you see your neighbor and your friends complain about they fat, you know what I mean? They got to go to the gym. They want to get lipo. Now they talking about spending even more money when all they had to do is back up off the goddamn donuts. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That comes to $12,000 a year on donuts. When you could have cut all that out, you understand what I'm saying? You know, bought yourself a nice chain, but you know, that's not a way to spend the money. But then you'll be able to invest the money in stocks that we're going to bring my brother Tay up here that's going to speak on how you can invest that same $12,000 or $1,000 a week. You know what I mean? That's where we at. You understand what I'm saying? So now we got that down pat. So now the big brother Beats, go on and give him your joint, man. I just want to let you know I got that from David Botch. It's a whole book with all types of strategies like that. I'm gonna bring you up with the best that you need to read that I read to get you where you need to go. Because this channel is trying to give you positive upliftment and take you where you need to go. So tell them about your program you got, big bro.
So I kind of take a page out of that book. But what I do is I break it down into a little bit more detail. You know what I'm saying? Start small. You know what I mean? Where you basically, the program that I run for myself is, you know, I'll start off the year, and I'll get into the slide real quick. But basically, I start off by saving a quarter a day. Then the next month I double it to 50 cents a day. Then the next month I go up. Then the next month I go up, and I find that money all over the place. Like it's easy to find a quarter. It all of that rolls into exactly what you were saying, Unique. Let me share my screen real quick so I can show you the grid on how I do it real quick. Give me a second. Can everybody see my screen? All right.
Yes, sir. We with you, baby boy. Run this. Run it, man.
So this how I break it down, right? So the first month, right, being January, I save 25 cents a day, right? 31 days in the month. My target to reach is $7.75. Now this is just being modest. Like you could find this anywhere throughout your day. You know what I'm saying? Just be mindful. The next month, I do it 50 cents a day. I throw 30 days at February because you don't know if it's 28 or 29. You know what I'm saying? So I just go up to 30 and I shoot for this target, $15. Same thing. I hit March, then I do 75 cents. It puts me here. Then I do in April, I do $1. May I do $1.25. And you can see on this chart, by the time I hit December, I'm saving $3 a day. Now you add all this up, it brings me to $596.50. Now, this is being very modest. This isn't being aggressive. I'm not cutting out donuts or any of that right now. I'm just going and finding extra money throughout my day. You know what I'm saying? There should be no reason for me personally that I can't find $3 a day. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I run myself through the first year. Then the second year, I double it all up, right? So now I'm saving 25 cents a day in January. The next year, I'm saving 50 cents. And you see, I just double everything up over here. Now, by the time I get to December, I'm saving $6. Now, I didn't put what the targets were for the future, but basically, if you do the math, if you multiply on that, that's going to get you to $1,193 the following year. So after 2 years, you end up with $1,729.50. And that's just, you know what I'm saying, following this chart on a day-to-day basis, finding that money, which, you know, it takes a little bit of discipline. But at the same time, you know, you take it one day at a time. You save $1 one day at a time, save a few dollars one day at a time. And before you know it, it all adds up. That's just the level. That's just the low level starting. Now, if you want to get more aggressive, then I got this chart right here that I go by. Also, if I want to get aggressive, I do this one, right? I'll start off $1 a day instead of 25 cents a day. Then the next month, I'll go to 2. Then the next month, 3. You know what I'm saying? All the way until I get up to December. In December, I'm shooting for $12 a day. And then The futures I put on it, I double it. So now you go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. That puts you, if you follow this chart in 2 years, the first year you got 2386. The second year you got 4772. You add both of those up, you come to $7,158 in 2 years following that chart, right? And now, Unique, you right. Once you start getting in deep over here on this high level chart, $8, $9, $10, $12 a day, then the next year you start doubling it. Now you're talking about the donuts.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what we like talking about, the donuts. Let's get the donuts out of our life and put some zeros in there.
Yeah, but we got to start somewhere, right?
Definitely.
Start somewhere. So that's pretty much the financial, the basis that I used, to get me and put me in a position where I could start looking into investing, right? Because not everybody has the money sitting around where, I mean, you could listen to people talk about investing and stuff all day, but if you don't know how to set yourself up and put yourself in a position where you could find that money to do it, it kind of will fall. It won't fall on deaf ears, but it'll fall on ears that can't really act on it right away. So I like to make sure that my foundation is set and run myself through a program and fund myself. You know what I'm saying? And I pretty much call that pulling money from the sky. You're your own bank. You financing your own movement. You know what I'm saying? With money that you might throw away. You know what I'm saying? A backwood here, bottle of Henny here. You know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that helped me put me on the path where, I would hear cats talk about investing in the stock market and all those things, but I was I will say I was a little too scared because, I would have been investing money that I needed. You know what I'm saying? So, that was the approach I took. And then after that, I jumped into real estate and really the stock market. And that could, Unique, that could be a whole nother conversation, right?
I'm getting ready to bring my brother with the stock market. When you ready, let me know. I'm gonna bring my brother up over here, Trey. Trey getting ready to speak on the stock in a minute.
Yeah, that's what's up. So that's pretty much how I put myself in a position to get there, to start even thinking about investing in stocks and stuff like that and messing with the market. And, I like the market because you're not competing with any other individual. You competing with the market. You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't no hate in the market. The market don't care about your background, where you from, what you look like. You know what I'm saying? So
let me bring the brother Tay up with you.
Word.
That's the good brother Tay. Tay, introduce yourself, big bro.
Bless, man, how you doing?
Get situated.
Yo, peace, kid.
Bless. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Only half your head is on there, though, big bro.
Bless. You already know, man. How's it going? Everybody good?
Yeah. Tilt your camera, family.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? Y'all good?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, it's peace.
Good.
Tell them who you are and what you represent, big brother. What you bringing to them today?
Man. My name is Tay Dane. You know what I mean? From Harlem. First off, shouts to both you two brothers, man, because the platform, just by itself, the platform is very educational and helpful. It's fun, but also y'all drop gems, and everybody that comes on has their gem. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, just being able to sit back and listen. And hopefully, my man B, hopefully you can put that save chart back up there so I can look at it again, because that's a tool right there, man. Even with me, somebody that has money in the stock market, like I still struggle with saving money. Like a lot of the money I have is saved up money. I run a studio, so if people come through to do sessions, I invest that money. I'll save some of it, put that money from studio sessions and doing work, this type of thing, into the market. And that's been kind of like my savings account. You know what I mean? Because I've never really been the greatest saver myself. You know what I mean? I think a lot of it is just self-control, trying to be control of your impulses, not trying to, like you said, save the bottle of Henny. Let's not buy the bottle of Henny. You know what I mean? Let's dial it back a little bit so that we can have money. And when you break it down from the, first month to the 12 month, 25 cents to $3, like it's very easy to do. It's very easy to see. And I feel like when you talk to people and say, oh, I'm trying to have 100,000 in something, or I'm trying to do something and invest, the long term of it seems so large to people. Like it's almost like scary. It'll scare them off. Like even like you kind of said, like the stock market, like I was hearing people doing this and doing. Even with me, I heard people talking about blue chip for like 5 years ago, but I wasn't putting no money into no stocks. But we got to kind of break the mindset of being scared of trying to invest our money, because obviously a lot of people like we hand in hand. We got to work a job to keep our money. We got to try to find a way to save off, and this is a great way. I started writing it down. It's a great way to just save a certain amount of money, so at the end of the year you can invest and make a good movement forward. So, yeah, I got some money in the stock market. I used to do a lot of forex. That's kind of what got me into trading in general, foreign exchange, forex movement.
I got a question, right?
Go ahead.
So now I just showed them how they could save $12,000 a year. He showed them how they could save $1,000 a year. You know what I mean?
Right.
With his program. What I want to ask you is, so how would you invest or tell us to invest that $1,000 we saved by pulling a quarter here, quarter there, like the brother showed us, or cutting back on the donuts for more? How would you break that down from what you just heard us speak on? How would you invest our money? Or how would you tell us to invest our money?
That's a good question. That's the question, right? And I don't want to, just shout out things and say, okay, this is what you should put your money on and try to, because the biggest part of this thing is fundamentals, like and
fix your camera, big brother.
Longevity.
Fix your camera.
Oh, my fault, brother. I'm sorry. Yeah,
there you go.
The biggest thing about it is longevity, right? The 5-year, the 10-year, the 15-year goal, right? And so a lot of us are set up to be thinking, 30 days or try to get some movement. For example, we're dealing with the COVID thing right now. So the vaccine thing is big. Talking about the companies that have money in that, and there could be some play in there, but that's what we're dealing with right now. That's this year and next year's thing. Like investing your money in the stock market, even in real estate, that could be a 30-year plus thing. Like this is a longevity thing. We're trying to build wealth in a larger scale. So the first thing is, listen, you got to do your fundamentals. Like you might have the money, but you could just buy anything and it's going to jump up and jump down. When it jumps down, you're going to buy out. When it jumps down, you're going to get scared. So we got to do our fundamentals. And the first thing I'll say is, listen, what companies are we buying in? Everybody has an iPhone, right? So
he was getting too deep for us, son. You know what I
mean? Yeah, the blocker. But I could pick up where he was at, though.
Brother Haas in here. Bring Brother Haas up. Big Haas.
Okay, yeah. Bring
all right, how you doing? All right. All right.
And then Beats is going to pick up where he left off, but I'm just bringing you in the convo until he come back to keep this flow moving, man.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah, Live is right, because I look at it like investing. I look at it like this. I use an example of, Jordans, right? Everybody like J's, $200 a pop, right? My thing is, listen, if you're gonna drop that 200 on the J's, you need to have 200 to drop on the Nike stock too. If you're that confident in that,
big brother.
You feel me? If you can't afford to drop the 200 in the Nike stock, then you can't afford to buy them J's.
Oh, tell it to him.
That's how I look at it.
You heard it here. You need to make audio.
You know what I'm saying? So exactly like the brother Live was bringing up about Apple, like everyone got iPhones, right? Why you don't own no Apple stock?
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Like if the Apple stock right now is, I think, like $1 and some change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's
when they did the split.
Yeah, it's your monthly cell phone bill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There you go. He's back.
Okay, pick up where you left off, big brother. We kept it moving for you because we don't let nothing stop.
Let's see if we was thinking.
I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I dropped out. I'm back like I never left. But listen, the biggest thing is the fundamentals, man. So it's like we buying. I saw somebody say Jordans. If you buy Jordans or if you wear Jordans, you should buy into the brand. You know what I mean? Nike. We should buy into the brands we wear. So everybody's an iPhone. We should buy into these corporations. And in that way, if they have dividends, if they rise in price, you're going to get some of that money back. And so it's really like, somebody said your purchasing power. Like as consumers, we need to consume, not only consume, but start owning some of the products, start owning some of the companies. So the first thing I say is, listen, look around you. What do you consume? You like Apple phones? Get that. Amazon. Everybody shop on Amazon. Everybody's buying things on Amazon, right? So buy some Amazon stock. Right now it's high, it's 3,000. But listen, buy into the companies that you use a lot is the first thing. But also do your fundamentals. And let me go down real quick. Look into the fundamentals by saying this. Well, what type of assets does a company have? So, for example, look at Amazon and see how much this company is worth. Look what the biggest holdings are. What are they doing in their industry? Obviously, they're the biggest online not manufacturer, but the online stores, the biggest online e-commerce space, right? So they're winning in that. They started getting in video games. They're the number one. I think they're about to have a deal with cars, with the Tesla car. So every Tesla car will have the Alexa in it, the Amazon's voice, e-voice, and things like that. So what type of assets? Okay, yeah, what type of assets? I don't know who wrote that, but what type of assets? So if we dive into the companies and do more research, you'll realize, okay, listen, this is a good company. I can see in the next 5 years, Apple's going to be around. I can see in the next 5 years, Amazon's going to be around. I can see in the next 5 years, everybody has Adobe. Everybody's on the computers. We're using the internet right now with this. This isn't Zoom, but Zoom is a company that does this. We can have conversation with 10 people plus people. So you can buy into these type of companies that we're actually using, right? So if we believe in a company and you look and you're saying, okay, they're getting money, they're making money, that's what we start doing. Just buy a piece and let it run. And this is about longevity. At the end of the day, it's not about trying to get the first flip and the fast flip, but if we buy in now and we let it hold, yeah, we can make a good run. So my advice is looking at the things you buy into. Amazon, look into Netflix. Everybody's on Netflix. Look into Disney. Disney owns everything. You know what I mean? They own all this property. These are the things our kids watch, that we watch. So you buy into the products that you consume. Start there.
Yeah. Agree, definitely. You know, the thing about it is that, you know, in layman's terms is that, you know, you taking a bet. You know,
Neo, buy Neo.
Huh?
No,
in layman's terms.
Somebody said something about Neo. Shouts to Neo. If you're looking into Neo, shouts to Neo. Well, go ahead, Oz. Go ahead.
No, in layman's terms, like you take like all the brothers say, you invest into the companies that you utilize, the companies that you see people that you see people using. You know what I mean? And the companies that are mainstays in society. Like, you know, it used to be companies like in the old days, like Exxon. Or, you know, right. Like the newer companies are more like Microsoft and the Amazons and these things that. But we have to start learning that we can invest, that we can have a stake in it, because what happens is the stock market is about making investments into making a bet if this company is going to do good or not. You know what I mean? Or whether this company is going to do bad or not. But we're making investment. We're making investment in companies because we're doing our research. And when we do the research, we want to say, how could this company be fundamentally sound? Like, if they sell sneakers, you know what I'm saying? You also have to understand, all right, what's the price of rubber? What's the weather in that country? You know what I mean? What's the laws in that country to make sure that it'd be easy for them to be able to make gains. So what happened? These are the things that we have to understand when you start understanding the economics. You know what I mean? Then another thing we have to practice is, after we get the money, we have to start practicing group economics. Group economics means that we spread this money around inside our community. You know what I mean? That means, you know what I'm saying, we take the dollars from outside the community and we spread them inside the community. Well, how we breaking that down and saying, we take the money that you did for braiding hair, you pay the babysitter. The babysitter paid the guy to fix your car. The guy to fix your car paid the, you know what I'm saying, paid someone else in the community that has has a restaurant, the local restaurant. See, we practice in group economics. We say buy black, but we don't understand what the fundamentals of buying black is, because we have to buy black. Many things that we do in support of each other, that's buying black. So we have to understand, you know, the fundamentals of these things, and we also understand that, you know, the cash is fiat money. It's the medium of exchange. It only has the value that we put on it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand. And then when we start talking about economics, let's start talking about people like Milton Friedman and Joseph Stiglitz. You know, Milton Friedman passed on. He's passed on, but these are the economists from that understand the economy. These are people. These are the big wigs. These are people familiar with Alan Greenspan. You know what I mean? These are the people on that level. So we got to understand all this in the gamut, so that when we invest in, so we can start seeing, because you'll start seeing investment opportunities just because of technology. All society is investing in technology. Technology 100 years ago was the light. Technology 100 years ago was gasoline. So technology always is going to be the spearhead in economics. You know what I mean? So what happens is, you know what I'm saying, start understanding, you know, what's going to be the next big thing. What's going to be the curve? What's going to be like with the Zoom thing? You know what I'm saying? You know, understanding, you know, what is society moving into, and what is going to be of the utmost importance, and make sure you invest your money in it when it's small, so that you can get larger returns.
There you go. There you
Agreed.
go. Okay, so somebody was asking because we got what? We're gonna do 5 more minutes of this, and we're gonna bring the females in to talk about, how to get money. You know what I mean? Now we talking about investing money. All right, but break that down, big brother. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I missed it, man. You know, I'm just unique. Sometimes I doze. You know. Yeah. Jay Smith said he's confused. Okay, so somebody break down what we've been talking about so far to catch Jay smooth up.
If I can, y'all go ahead.
Go ahead, big brother.
So, the biggest thing to take away from everything as a system, the stock market is not going nowhere. It's been here 100 plus years. This is where big institutions put their money. So it's like us as smaller investors, we can make smart calls and redeem profits from our investments, right? So the biggest thing to take from this is to say, listen, okay, this is valued at $20 right now, right? The fundamentals say, right, we looked at the year to date, we looked at the year over year return, right? We looked at the core products this company makes. We're saying, okay, maybe there's analysts saying that the target projection is high, but you do your research and you say, okay, I can buy that low and it's gonna shoot up. And that's basically what we're saying here. We have to do the knowledge to know this is a worthwhile company, this is a worthwhile investment, and 5 years plus down the line, my money's going through this jump. So at the end of the day, you can start by saying, well, what's the temperature? Then go ahead. You saying?
Oh no, I was just going to explain. I was just going to say that it's easy to get invested in the stock market. It's usually a cash app. You know what I mean? With the fractional stocks. With fractional stocks. I mean, it's just as easy as that. Or you explain it to them.
Right, like you said,
explain what King Noble just said, big brother. Let's take it down. We understand what's going on, but there's some brothers out there that's looking right what's going on. So let's take our time and break it down because they have the money to invest. Like, what's the lowest money you could invest, and how would they invest? Let's talk about that.
Let's start there. Yeah. There's something called fractionalized stock. So you can buy portions of stock. Let's say Amazon is $3,000 right now. You might not want to spend $3,000. So you got a couple options. If you wanted to just buy into Amazon, you didn't want to go no other way but Amazon, but you didn't want to spend $3,000 because it's $3,000 in stock. You can buy a fraction of it. How do you do that? You go to Cash App. Everybody uses Cash App right now, right?
Exactly.
You can go through Cash App and not only buy fractionalized stock, but you can buy Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So you can start there and buy fractionalized stock. And what we mean again by fractionalized stock is pieces of stock. You can buy 25% of Amazon. You only got $100, you can buy that fraction of that stock. Okay. So yeah. The second part of that is if you want to buy into Amazon, let's say you want to buy into Amazon, but you didn't want to buy that whole stock because it costs too much, but maybe you want to buy something else. Maybe you didn't want to do the fraction game. You can buy into ETFs. They have ETFs, and basically these are funds, right? If you want to, throw something in ETFs, are these groups where they have investments in several companies. They have investments in several.
Oh, we lost him. Yeah, so he was saying ETFs. Basically, the ETFs, they're like their holdings in specific companies, right? That will give you a percentage of those stocks inside those holdings. So you could get like a technology ETF. They'll have maybe several different technology companies. They'll have holdings, and you just get a piece of all that action.
Okay, all right. So now that we got that, we don't use 30 minutes with that. Now I'm gonna bring in Sister Nyland. She's gonna break down what she do and what is offered for people that's just coming out of prison. Because let's still be on point that this is prison talk. You know what I mean? This is prison stories and how to survive outside of prison as well as inside of prison. All right, Sister Nyland. Now I'm just coming out of jail, right? I'm just coming out of jail. I ain't got no ID. I ain't got no social security card. I've been locked up 26 years. You know what I mean? I ain't got no job. You know, I don't have no resume. I don't have nothing. I just have my freedom. What is it that you offer? And I cut you off. What is your name?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Neverly Santana, and I work for Exodus Transitional Community. It's a nonprofit organization that helps people that just came from prison with no ID, with no social, with no job. We have everything that you guys need. So first we have the wilderness program. The wilderness program is a program, it's a workshop. It's a 1 week workshop. You go there, you do the workshop for 1 week. They help you update your resume. After that, they help you get your ID. If you need your social, they work on that as well. They have a job developer over there. They have a case manager that follows up with you. So that will be your case manager. And she's going to follow up with you. She's going to help you get your birth certificate, your social ID. If your paperwork is in prison, we help you get your paperwork as well, your phones, your belongings, whatever it is, we could assist you with that. So that's at the main office, which is located at 2268 3rd Avenue, New York, New York. And I said at the resume, update your resume and everything. They help you how to do an interview if you've been locked up for a long time and you're like, okay, I don't know, I don't even know how to do an interview. So also we have the wellness program, which the wellness program is a substance abuse program and an anger management program. A lot of us have to do it, right? When you come out of prison, they're like, oh, but I did it already. No, you have to do it again. It's mandated if you're on parole. So we offer that as well. We have the youth center, which the youth center is for kids from 16 to 24. And they have different programs within the youth center. The youth center, they do different activities, and it's basically to keep them away from going to jail, or if they have a case already, they help them with trying to figure out with the lawyer how to get out of the trouble and all of that. We have the ATI program. The ATI program, I think, is like a great program. It's a program for alternative to incarceration. So if you have an open case in Manhattan and you're a man, they help you with your lawyer, with your judge, with paperwork, with everything to avoid going to jail. Um, Here's the best part. This is where I work at. This is the hotels. We have 3 hotels, 2 in Queens, 1 in Manhattan. This hotels is a shelter now for people that just came from prison during the COVID. Here we sit where we give them 3 meals a day. They have case managers on site all the time. They help them with their appointments. They help them with the social security, birth certificate, SNAP benefits. They have a great bed here. They have their own room. They have, a hotel room, basically. And we help them with the programs. Also, Exodus worked with Fortune Society, Ashbourne. We work with a lot of different organizations as well. And also here we help you get a job. We help you get your ID. Pretty much we do everything that people coming from prison needs. And especially if they don't have nowhere to go, here is the place to go, because here you're going to have a room, you're going to have food, you're going to have that support that you need and that help that you need. Also, we work with the lawyers, the parole officers, and they don't have no curfew. So that's pretty much it. Also, we're working on other buildings, so that will be coming soon. And yeah, that's pretty much what we do in Exodus.
Bro. Okay.
Can you
All
guys
right.
hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I hear you. That was proper. Proper. Everything is all right. So now we got her perspective. So now you know where to get a job. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And how to get your ID and how to get situated coming home. What are some of the obstacles that you have seen the brothers and sisters that come through your office go through? What are the main common ones? And that they should have fixed when they was inside. Let's put it that way. That they could have fixed or they had access to fix.
Um, Pretty much is basically, I'm gonna say paperwork, because I know that they provide you with like Medicaid, food stamps, and stuff like that. So paperwork is like the main thing that is the most difficult thing, especially if you're coming home now. It's like it takes forever, as we know here. It takes forever to get a social security card now. Like
Yeah.
you will call them and they're like, yeah, we see the application, but let's figure out where is that. Like, come on, like, you know. So I think that's the most difficult thing. And also it's the fact that a lot of people is not mentally prepared to come home, and they might be when they inside they're like, yes, I'm ready, oh yes, I can't wait, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then when they come home and they see reality, that is like, okay, this is what really is. Like, I don't have a dollar on me, I don't have a place to stay, I don't have nothing, I can't even get an ID, you know. So it's very difficult, because sometimes it messes with our pride, and it's like, oh, now I'm broke. So it's like that broke mentality. So it's like, no, let's get you where you need to be at, so you don't be broke and you can establish yourself. But it's very hard to come from prison and not have a place where you could go and they really gonna help you. So it's like in Exodus, it's like, not because I worked for Exodus, because I went through the whole process with Exodus as well. So this is how I got the job. It's because it's a really good program. It's really like, come on, let's get it together. You could do it. Like, we all went through this. We're not different. So we don't treat others like, oh no, we all came from the same place, believe it or not. So yeah.
Yeah, that's peace, man. I like that, because as you know, I met you through the brother Sean that pointed me to you, because I've been having trouble getting my Social Security 6 months. We filled out the paperwork 3 months ago again, and still didn't get it. So you already know how that is. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like, it's crazy how hard you got to work, you know what I mean, to get things, you know, proper, you know. But we appreciate people like you and your service, because without you, man, we wouldn't know which way to turn, you know. And that's just keeping it 100. And you gave an address before.
Yes.
Could you give that address again? Because few people said they didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. The address is 2268 3rd Avenue, New York, New York. The number also is 917-492-0990. Y'all could go over there and be like, oh, I gotta go over there, I gotta do an intake. And they will be like, come whenever you're ready. You do your intake, you do your wilderness program, if you gotta do your wellness program, if you have an open case, if you need shelter, we pretty much have it all.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me say that in they actually read the screen. Is that, where's that? If that's in every borough, or is that just in the Bronx or in Queens where you at? She's in Queens, not the Bronx.
Okay, so
every borough?
The main office is in 3rd Avenue, New York, New York.
No, not the main office. I mean, is this program borough-wide?
Yes, they have another office in Pickettskill, is it? Yeah.
Catskill?
Where? Pickettskill, yeah.
Poughkeepsie?
Yes. They have a main office there as well. And now they're trying to make having more office. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's where we at. So let's bring Brother Hassan back up. Brother Haas.
Hey, what's going on?
Okay. And I want to bring in a young lady that I want to join the conversation, that baby girl that been watching my program and been getting, you know, a lot of positive info from that program. So I want to bring her up, you know, speak.
Okay.
You know, how you doing now, baby girl? Keep your mic off, sis. You're mute.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you perfect. Tell them who you are and how you got in contact with this platform, me, or whatever you want to call it. You know?
Well, basically, I was watching you, and like I told you, I feel like it's a divine thing, you know, the energy. You know, I just came across your page and I started listening to you. I'm like, yo, this dude is really speaking facts. And what I mean by facts, informative information that one can collect to become better. That's what I was about. And that's the reason why I wanted to be a part, you know, because we're teaching people something that all of society does not teach. You know, when you come out of jail, they already say you're washed up, you can't get a job, you can't do this and that. So trying to make ways for a person that has been incarcerated or has incarceration of the mind can go to, you know, become better. I'm all with that.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah. And being somebody that too was locked up, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I respect it.
You did time too, haven't you?
2 years. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. What was that experience like for you as a female?
As a female, I mean, it wasn't too bad because, you know, guys go through worse, but still having somebody to tell you when to go to bed, when to eat, when to do this, no, you know, it's not where it's at. You know, it's easier to get in the cell than to get out of the cell. And we're talking about physical and mental.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be out of jail, but still have a mental state where you're locked up in chains.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's definitely what's up. Well, you on Instagram and all that, and that's where I seen you at.
yeah.
And I like your platform, and I like the way you handle your things, because I've been watching certain things you've been doing.
Mhm.
So what is it that you have to offer? What's your expectations, or your, let's say, your goals in life?
Okay, well, I'm a college student. I'm receiving my PhD in psychology, child development, and film and media. And it's been experience. And I am a testimony that you can get out of the system and find your way.
Mhm.
Very much. And my thing is, I want to become a full-on certified psychologist where I can help inmates. I can help the youth to try to get not only to a mental state, but a energy where nothing is against you. You know what I mean? Because we already feel like we're being judged, and it's not about color. So what I'm about to say, I do not want anyone in this room to think that it's about color. It's about the mind state. But when you're inside society, if you are lower than what we would call the rich, we're looked upon anyway as a certain, like, okay, they don't have what it takes to do this. They don't have what it takes to do that. I want to give opportunities for those that feel like that, to let you know, look, I've been in that situation. Yes, I'm a woman, but I've been in that situation. I know how it feels. It takes a person having to go through certain things for them to be able to be one-on-one with the person. I've been there. I've been homeless. I've been locked up. You know what I mean? I've been through other situations that were worse than that. And for me to come out on top, and I am on the top, regardless if I'm rich or not, I'm wealthy of mind. That is enough for me. And I want to teach that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Amen.
I definitely
Amen.
like that. I like
Amen.
the it seems real unique, you know, to steal a little bit of your shine, you know. But you know, smile a little bit because you made it, sis. You know, like I say, man, if I'm driving down the street right now and the car turned upside down and I die tonight, I'm dying a happy man
Mm-hmm.
because I made it on the outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I earned my freedom
Mm-hmm.
back on the outside. So I don't have nothing at all to be mad at. No, nothing to be mad at. I got brothers back there that we still fighting to get out. You know what I mean? That we still fighting to get out. So I don't have nothing to be mad at on this side of the wall when those Europeans gave me life plus 20 with no chance for parole on that side. I had 26 years in.
Mm-hmm.
The 20 years was for the 20 years.
Right.
I was just starting a life sentence that I had 6 years on. So they was waiting on me to die. So if I would have lived another 84 years, I would have died in prison. You know what I mean? At 90. I mean, so, you know, I say that to laugh at it. Like, there's nothing, I don't have a reason to be mad in the world. There's nothing out here, man.
Right.
I mean, if I ain't got a pot to piss in, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Because at least I know that I can get a pot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Nobody got to tell me they want to look up my rectum and bend over and pick this up, pick that up, and all that weight and stuff that the good brother 10 Toes standing down. Make sure y'all check out his channel that he was speaking about. You know, because everybody, see, my thing is coming up with your own lane and your own platform, man. I see a lot of these YouTube channels had all this gangster talk and who shoot them up, kill them up, and I loved it. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, I grew up with it. You know what I mean? Not bragging about it, telling everybody stay out of it. I'd rather listen to it or watch it on TV than have to, you know, live it like I did. You know what I mean? But I enjoy it. You know what I mean? But that's their lane. You know? So I created this, which is my lane. You understand? I know how to stay in my lane. I'm an old man. I'm in my lane. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give the youth a little bit. If I get one a week, I'm good. If I get one youth a week, I'm good. I don't need a whole bunch. Because he gonna go out and get a whole bunch. Elijah Muhammad only got Malcolm X. Malcolm X got the rest. You know what I mean? Ain't got but Elijah Muhammad is the one that got Malcolm, which was that one. So maybe I grab a Malcolm, you know, for 2021. You know what I mean? And that's my goal. You know what I mean? And whoever can understand that, man, like I say, home to Allah, man, I'm just here trying to give y'all the blessing of Allah and the blessing of Jehovah, and whatever God that you choose to label it. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, it's a higher power, it's a divine power. It's the deity. You know what I mean? And it's only one God. No matter what labels you put on it, it's one God. It's
Amen.
one life. You know what I mean? So,
Amen.
you know, that's where I'm at, man. And I'm real happy to be in my lane. And like I said, I saw the brother 10 Toes Down. He got a unique lane, and I had to call him and let him know, because I know him from he was a kid, that I like his lane, because he's talking about how degrading it is on the inside. And we all gangsters. We go in gangsters. When they tell us to bend over, cough, spread out this, pick this up, when to lay down, when to sleep, when to eat. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'll tell you you're farting too loud. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you don't let them do all of that, you know, and then you still call yourself a gangster. I said I gave all that up years ago, man. I saw who the gangster is, man. You know? But like I said, definitely check out my man 10 Toes Down. I enjoyed his joint, man. I like the good feedback when he's giving about what's going on the inside. Because he got good wisdom, and you know, you can tell he was a stand-up brother on the inside, so he got the jewels, how to survive it and how to deal with it, and he's not bragging about it. You know what I mean? I love it, but like I said, that's the lane. But let me bring the other good brother up. We've been on here a minute. Everybody to know where we was at, man. We're in a positive vibe, and if it's anything that y'all want to share about, because I had a few questions that the people had to ask. You know what I mean? Like, let me see. How does music video work and finance? How would you finance a music video? How would you suggest you finance a music video?
That's a good question. So any endeavor you have, you need a bag, right? We need to figure out how we're gonna get the money up to finance the endeavor, right? So with me, and you know, I've been to school for music. I went to school for mixing and mastering music, editing videos, that type of thing. I try to figure out where my talent meets my skill set. And so, you know, even though I got my own music and my own things going on, I can still help people that need their music recorded, mixed, mastered, video shot, that type of thing. So figure out where your skill set meets, right? Like where your talent and your skill set meets. So for me, it's like, yeah, I just have the accessibility and the know-how to mix people's music, master it, provide the content like that. And yeah, I charge for that, do those types of things. So for me, it's that. For you, it might be something else. If you're good at doing hair, you could finance yourself that way and put that into something else. Put that into anything. You figure out what you're good at and try to finance yourself that way. And figure out where you can make yourself like a brand, create your brand. Like even when you were just talking about yourself, brother, like Unique Mecca Audio, this is a unique brand. It's a unique business, you know what I mean? And so it's like anybody can have a show, but it's like if nobody's gonna bring the energy you bring to it, nobody's gonna bring the talent and the character you bring to it. So at the end of the day, it's like everybody has to be individual in the sense where you got to figure out what your lane is, what your talent is, and where your skill set matches that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all a question that everybody up there should be able to give an answer to. All right. Now, how important is education to today versus yesterday, the past? How important is education to today?
Depends on the kind of education, I would say. Go ahead, Oz.
Well, you know, I think the most important education that the young people need to learn at this point in time is social etiquette. Because, you know, like the young lady spoke about the programs that she has involved, you know, that she gave them the opportunities to, you know, to get involved with. But the fundamental blockage is that most of the times people talk themselves out of these situations. You know what I mean? Like she said, the people, you know, I don't belong here. They don't want me here. You know what I mean? Right. So what happens is you talk yourself out of an opportunity. You know, right. And then another, and I found that, you know, throughout my career in social service, that was one of the fundamental things. Then another thing, like, you know, the young lady said, you know, the brothers are not preparing themselves. A lot of times, you know, they go on as young men, and they're young, they're 17, 18 years old, and they still have the expectation that someone's going to do something for them. So when they come home and they expect, you know, the red carpet to be rolled out. They expect, you know, and, you know, to be honest with, depending on the level of your family structure, you have maybe 90 days to 6 months of this. You know what I mean? And then eventually they're gonna, you know, want to know how much you can get on the bills, because, you know, economics is a burden on everyone. You know what I mean? So what happens is that, and then, you know, it's aggregate. So another component of it is the social etiquette. You know, we have to know how to, you know, to communicate with, you know, different groups of people. Well, you know, lacking the social etiquette. You know what I mean? What happens is that, you know, it's not being, you're not being feminine, or you're not marginalizing yourself or dumbing yourself down or being soft by talking with somebody with respected manner. You know what I mean? What happens is that even if someone talks to you with disrespected manner, it takes it's incumbent upon you to use your strength and character to not to return the same energy. You know what I mean? So that's the most important thing that we have to teach the young men as they come home is the social etiquette, because that's the biggest barrier. You know what I'm saying? It's been in understanding that, because what happens is, the language and the body language and the tone of voices that you use in the community is, you know what I'm saying? It's a different step when you go into the offices. Yes, that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the education.
I think you muted.
Yeah, you muted.
Thank you. I screw up all the time. Don't mind me. But like I said, Nyla, this is for you. I want you and baby girl. You know what I mean? I want y'all to see how the viewers, this show is for the viewers. You know what I mean? The subscribers. I bring them in to speak, to share what they're getting from this platform, from the people out there. Look, I got 19,000 people subscribed. So I want them to know that we have people that's interested in this, that is listening, and is getting something positive from this channel. And that's all I'm trying to get. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring my brother Sunny Sunday up. You know what I mean? Introduce yourself, brother. Tell them how we just met so they understand how I run this.
What's going on, y'all? Peace.
Bless.
Peace.
Yeah, I was on Unique's Instagram. He went live. I just I got into the live with him, and I just wanted to just build with him a little bit. I watch all the stories. I watch all the different platforms. It's something that I'm interested in because I love the culture of hip hop and the backstories and all of that. So it's something that's it being polarizing as well as very entertaining. It's something that I keep up with, and Unique being one of those brothers in that field, I do follow him. I will say when I first was introduced to him, I was a little bit biased because even though some of that stuff is entertaining to me, I don't have cognitive dissonance. Like I know what's right from wrong. Mm-hmm. And before I really heard his full story, I passed judgment like, oh, here's another brother that just came home, is glorifying this life, and whoa, I did this in the 80s, I did this, blah, 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 really not, and again, this is before I heard the full story, you know what I mean? And then as I started, for some reason, he kept popping up on my feeds. I don't know how he did it. But
you say like I'm a stalker, man.
No, what I'm saying is on Instagram, how they give you suggestions. It's watch this, watch that. And for some reason, Unique Mech Audio kept popping up. I was like, damn,
other people was watching it.
Other people was watching it. It just the algorithm made it so.
Yeah.
Damn, let me check. Let me click on this. Because I watched the Queen's Flip interview and stuff like that, and I got a certain vibe. But then I clicked on one of his other videos, and I was like, I started listening, and he started, if you do follow him, that he always gives, he always starts off with, I'm not glorifying this. This is a way I'm trying to deter the youth from doing where I went. I did this so that you won't have to go through this. And I start listening. I was like, okay, this is a different approach, because a lot of these dudes come home and they glorify a lot of things that, they did beforehand. So I can appreciate that. So I started listening to him more and more and more. And then, I'm really following his movement. And he's a real hustler. I really admire his hustle. A lot he's done more than, people never went to prison and haven't done half of what he's done in 3-4 months. It's crazy. There's really no excuse. If you would say in his position, you would deem him as a brother that has all odds stacked against him, just came home, got an ankle monitor. There's people out here that's never been in jail. What is your excuse for not excelling and not hustling and grinding and really trying to do your due diligence? So I just want to say salute to to Mecca Audio and everybody on the panel. Before I slide, I just want to say I heard some of the stuff about finances and investments and things like that, and I find that, you know, I'm on my journey. You know what I mean? I'm on my journey of living below my means and doing certain things to try to create some sort of financial freedom for myself. And I understand a lot of the, you know, invest in Forex, invest in, you know, Apple, invest in this, invest in that. But I found that the biggest investment is in yourself. The first investment that you should invest in is in yourself. And I'm not saying, and I don't mean, you know, take the money that you made and go put it into a stock. It's discipline. It's discipline, because with all this information, these brothers can sit here and tell us to go do this and go do that and charts and all that. Respect it. I respect it. But the main thing is the discipline to go and save. The main thing is the discipline to do your due diligence, to do the research, to have to eat well, to have a routine, just in your daily life. Like that's the hardest, that's the biggest investment, because usually everything else kind of falls in place. This year, you know, personally, I just came home. I didn't just come home, but I did like a little skid bid, like 6 months. I ran into some issues in life. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy. But I came home, and you know, last year in April 28th, I came home. I did like 6 months. And you know, I made a vow to myself that, you know, I was gonna invest in myself and try to become the best version of myself that I could be. And this is before all the memes and all this. I didn't get that from Instagram. That's something that I found internally in a cage. And I said, I'm gonna do this. So I came home, and you know, I just started. You know, I've had just a personal thing with me. I've had my bouts with alcohol. So, you know, that's got me into a lot of issues. So I decided to put myself in a place where, you know, it's called the Oxford House. It's where I live now. And it's basically a place, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. It's not really a halfway house, but it's a sober living house. Yes, it's a sober living house. So I live here now.
God bless you, brother.
And this is,
God bless you.
Yeah, this is like my hospital. I got a year and some change dry. And you know, and in that 1 year,
Amen.
In that 1 year and some change, I've transformed my life, not only physically, mentally, financially. I've saved up crazy money to now go and listen to brothers and teach me how to invest, because I've invested in myself. And I think that's the main thing, because I may have had this information before of I should do this, but I didn't have the discipline to do it. You know, I go buy a bottle instead or go do something else. But I just want to say, I don't want to talk your heads off and all that, but you know, I just want to say that
you said all the right things, man. I agree.
Go ahead, Haas. I want to ask you a question before you leave, Sonny. Go ahead, Haas.
Well, I just wanted to agree with the brother, you know, and it's unfortunate that as young people, you know, young men in society, that it takes a lot of us to go to prison to even learn discipline. You know what I mean? Because we regimented. Now we're regimented. The discipline is forced upon us. So you know what I mean? So the thing about it is, you're 100% correct. It's the self-discipline. It's the discipline of yourself. And once you start disciplining yourself, that you will excel. And I commend you, brother, and I respect you and I applaud you, you know, for coming here and sharing your story, and, you know, to inspire others, because that's what this is about, you know, for us, you know what I'm saying, you know, to be able to, you know, to realize that, you know, we're not going through this alone, and that somebody, you know, somebody else, you know what I'm saying, can inspire us, you know, to go the extra mile that we need to when we feel we don't have it in us anymore.
Go ahead, big bro.
I'll say this too, yeah. Thank you for what you said, man. And like, for you and for everybody, like, especially I tell myself every day, there's nothing I can't do. Like, and I feel like as people of color, we might hear, me and Haas might have a conversation today or the day before just about, as people of color, we hear a lot of, oh, you can't do that, or we can't do that, or you're not good enough to do. But it's like, psych yourself out. You might even said earlier today, like, you will tell yourself no already. You've already written yourself out the program and written yourself out the opportunity. So it's like you got to step forward with, yo, I can do anything. You can do anything, fam. Like you already did everything. Like alcohol could have took you out. You're like, nah, I'm not gonna let it. I'm gonna check in and do the right thing and do what I gotta do to level out. So it's like, yeah.
I want to say this. You know, I remember, you know, and you're right, because what happens is I remember I wasn't scared to go in the prison yard, but I was scared to go to church. You know, at the time of my life, you know, that I was scared to go, you know, and all of the assumption of what they think about me. I don't belong here. I'm out of place. You know what I mean? So what happens is that, you know, it's the exercise of as I grew in life, not through prison, but as I grew in life, I used that parody to, you know, understand that, you know what, I was my own impediment. I was blocking myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was the problem. It wasn't the church. It wasn't the places that I was going to. It was me, myself, and what I thought of myself. So when I thought higher of myself, when I started to have I started believing in myself and having confidence in myself, and not in the things I acquire, and not the things that I have that I thought gave me status. What I knew was just me, myself, period, me. You know what I'm saying? Without anything. You know, that's, you know what I'm saying, we get a greater understanding, and that's what we all have to do. That's just not us, you know what I'm saying, being formally incarcerated. That's people in the whole entire world, because we by acquiring things to give us a greater status. But the brother said is the love of self. You know what I mean? And once you love yourself, you know what I'm saying? You can't be moved. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're in the world, but not of the world. You know what I'm saying? But and this is what we try to exercise here, because we try to reduce recidivism. You know, we trying to make sure that the brothers have tangible things that they can grab onto to make sure that they won't go back to prison. Because it's easy, you know what I'm saying, to say, yo, I provide this. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So, all right, we have the programs, but all right, now we have to get you in the mindset that you know that you can use programs are for you. You can utilize them. You can benefit them, because what happens is you can have the program there and not utilize it. You know, saying and this is what we have to, you know, say, transfer this information and make it and bring it home. So tomorrow somebody can say, you know, I can go do this tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the day, because you know a lifestyle is addictive. You know what I mean? So a lot of times people are addicted to the lifestyle, and you got to be man enough to want to walk away. See, what happens is that, especially with young men, they still caught up in the groups, and it's hard to say, I'm going to go walk on my own. You know what I mean? And that's what you have to do, you know, and that's if prison didn't teach you that. If anybody's been incarcerated, prison should taught you that you're going to have to make this walk alone. Because even your co-defendants go their way, you go yours. You know what I mean? So what happens is that, you know, thank God for Unique. We're always going to applaud Unique for bringing this platform to save someone, to save a mother from crying over her child. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, because her child's incarcerated. And, you know, and the thing for the brother that came on to say this, because this is of the utmost importance. We don't need any more, you know, yes, nostalgia. We have a lot of nostalgia. We have a lot of nostalgia. People talking about, you know, the old times. But what we got to deal with today's time, today and now. And you know, when you came home, although he came back from the old times, he came dealing with today and now. And you know what I'm saying? You know, he's taking us into the future.
And can I say something real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I feel like life and death is in the power of the tongue. You got to be very careful what you speak to this universe. I always say you have to speak positive affirmations to yourself. I am somebody. It's not I will be somebody. I am somebody, because had you not had that purpose, you would not be alive. So let's go ahead and everybody is somebody. We all put here have a purpose. Now, when you take the psychology, what you said, what everybody has said on this panel, I agree with. I believe in self-control. You must have self-control. You have to know your personal responsibility, your resilience, you know, learn time management. These are things that are going to take you above and beyond when seeking a better life. Whatever it is, whatever business you have, whether if you're trying to have your own business, if you're working for somebody, you can work for somebody and not work with somebody. What I mean is, yes, you have a manager, but the mindset that you have is, you know what, one day I'm going to own all this.
That's right.
Start somewhere. Nobody picks up and goes straight to the top. It don't work like that. And that's the reason why you go through things. You go through things. Your test yesterday was for your testimony today. So what I mean by that is, you get 20 years, you know what? Cool. But guess what? God put you in that jail cell for a reason. Because had you been out for 20 years, something could have happened too. You know what I'm saying? So we always look at the bad thing in the situation instead of looking at the positive. The positive is, yeah, you get the 20-something years. Yeah, you get the 10 years. But guess what? Did you not study? Did you not pray? Did you not have your mind wrapped up what you wanted to do so that when you get out, you won't make the same mistakes that you did when you went in?
Right.
So I can really attest to that.
Amen.
I'm glad you said that you jumped on in the conversation. I like when you get heated. I'm gonna ask you another one. I like when you get heated. The African come about you. The Spanish come about you. You know what I mean? As a single mother raising a child, how hard was it being homeless and raising your child? And what was it that got you out of that? What would you give the young ladies listening that's in that situation?
First of all, my child is what got me out of that. Okay, because before I don't want to give you one side without giving you the other. Before I had my child, very wild, okay, in the streets, whatever, just doing me, okay, being spoiled and all types of things. When I had my child and I got to really experience life, and I lost my virginity at 19. I had my son, I got pregnant on my birthday, July 18th, and I had my son April of that next year. I had no idea how hard it would be to have a child and not have a place to lay my head. I never understood that, you know what I mean? Because I had a mom, and by this time my dad was deceased. So it's like, I could have went home, but I'm saying, you know what? My mother didn't help me make this baby. I made this baby along with, who I was partnered with. But it was hard because it's like when you have a child and you're out here going from pillow to post, it puts a depression on you. It puts a sense of, am I even good enough? Should I give my child up for adoption? Is this me? But with prayer, and I'm talking about prayer diligently, like, God, help me with this, because I can't do this by myself. Yes, I am a single parent. Yes, my baby father's not here, or my child's father's not here, but I'm still here. So God, please put into my spirit what you need me to do. And that's when everything started to go, because I went like two years. 2 years before I got locked up, because I got locked up after my son was born. But when I came home 2011. But everything started going on as I'm praying. I'm like, God, you gotta show me, because I'm a new parent. I don't have kids before this. I don't have kids after this. So I'm like, what am I to do? I mean, I'm frantic at this point. And I thank God that I had people from the street, shout out to Brooklyn, shout out to Queens and all the barrels, because I had OGs like, you know what? You're gonna have to stop this. Mom, let's be for real. Parents, they're going to scold you, but you're still their child at the end of the day. I needed somebody biased, like, yo, you got to get your shit together. Excuse my language on this panel because I don't really curse. But you got to get your stuff together. You got a whole son to live after. You feel what I'm saying? What are you teaching your son? What example is you setting? Even though your son is 1 and 2, their children are sponges. They soak up everything. Whether you realize it or not, your child soaks up everything you do. So I had to get up out of that mindset that I can't, I won't. Nobody will accept me. And I had to get on that positive affirmation. I will be somebody. And I'm going to try whatever I can do to make sure that I be somebody. So when my son grows up, he will not be like those in the street, that have chosen to give up. I didn't choose to give up. That's why you have to have self-discipline. Know what it is you want, even though it don't come in that next day. Continue to stay on your path, regardless of what it is. Now, after me finding my path, after me getting out of jail and having some time to soak in life, going to college and realizing my son was that push. Because had I not had a son, and had I not went to jail, who knows where I would be? And I'm being so true with you. I really don't know where I would be. So having a son and let me know I'm not just living for myself. I'm living for my child as well. You know what I mean? So I got to really get out on these streets and do it the right way. Show my son that there's other avenues to go other than selling drugs, doing this, doing that. Why? Because your mom did it. Why? Because your dad did it. My brother right now is doing 63 years in the pen, never to come home. The time my brother comes home will be 101. Do you feel what I'm saying? So it's like I got a lot to pull from. I got a lot to teach from. And that was my biggest motive. That was my biggest push, was my child. And go ahead, my brother.
Can I add on real quick? Just to kind of add on to what you're saying. I see a lot like you got out of your situation, right? I'm making it out of my situation. A lot of us on this panel, we've got out of our situation.
Right.
Me being an alcoholic, one of the main things that we have to do, first step is accountability. And I find that in our community, we don't deal with accountability, holding ourselves accountable for our actions. We like to point the finger at all sorts of other things, all sorts of other variables. A lot of which we really can't control.
Right.
What we don't realize
That's the
is
easy thing to do, though. You know what I mean? Point the finger.
the one variable that we can control is ourselves. But the problem is that if everybody was to sit down and be dead honest with themselves and flip themselves inside out, they wouldn't even know where to start. They wouldn't. To get yourself out of a situation takes brutal honesty. Like, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Apologizing to others, apologizing to yourself.
Yes.
There's the 12 step, and I hate to keep bringing it back to this to 12-step programs and alcoholic stuff, but it really just it could be put in any situation. You use this structure in any situation in life, any sort of problem that you have. And one of the main things is going and making amends with people and problems and things that you stirred up when you were doing what you were doing out in the streets, to yourself, whatever. Like the brother Unique is doing right now. This is his form of amends, in a sense, because he's trying to give back and make right things that he may have helped make wrong. So accountability is huge. It won't start until you say, "Hey, I have a problem and I was wrong." So for you to know that it's huge. You can't get up out of your situation without accountability.
Yeah, you have to. Because you have
like,
to realize, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I was not supposed to say, like, they say it takes 28 days to make or break a new habit. Like, so 28 days. So imagine the years of living, right? Whether it be incarcerated, living in poverty. It takes. So we've been living in a certain situation for certain years. You get used to that. You get you succumb to your situation. But we work hard to reverse that. Like, you took the steps and you have the motivation, just like Sister said, she had the motivation through the kids and everything going on. If you remember that, and damn 28 days, it'll be faster than that. You can get it done faster than that. But we got to make and break. We got to make better habits and break poor habits. Yeah.
Yes. Fasting away from those that do you no good.
Okay, Marilyn, guys, you was gonna say something? Marilyn.
No, I was just thinking right now that a lot of people they don't know where we come from, and even like in my job, it's like I experienced a lot of people that they just don't want to do it. They just give up real fast, and I'm like, and then they get mad at me. They're like, "Oh, you don't know what I've been through. You never been to jail. You never been here. You never been there." And I'm like, I mean, just because I have a job doesn't mean that I just didn't spend 6 months of this program and 6 years and a half in a place that probably we was in the same yard together. Like, come on, but it's like I'm not gonna just put in my forehead like this is my story. I just decided that instead of saying this is my story, it's like this is who I want to be now. And if I made it, why can't you make it? Like, and we're giving you everything here. Take everything. Take advantage of this. Take advantage of that. You even have a place to stay. So it's like not everybody think that, because now you're good, they looking at you like, oh, she dressed nice, oh, she got her hair done, oh, she got a job. But did you read the first page? Like, you're only looking at the middle right now because I'm not even done. So it's like it takes a lot of discipline, like you guys was mentioning, a lot of discipline to get to where you want to where you're supposed to be in life. Because sometimes we don't even want to be there. We're like, oh my God, this is a whole journey. Like, and I'm like, you know what? Like, it takes a lot of discipline, and I'm agree 100% with that. And investment in yourself, like. It's like sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm tired, I'm done. Like, but then I'm like, you know what? I have a purpose. I have a reason. It's a reason why I do this. Yeah, but not everybody, I learned that not everybody is gonna look at it the same way. Even if you hand it to them, even if you're on Zoom doing a mental health program, you're on Zoom doing a wellness program. Like, why wouldn't you want to get on the phone for an hour and get it out the way, like, you know. So it's like sometimes I just gotta be patient. I just gotta sit there and be like, I'll try tomorrow again. Let's see.
Right.
Big Hoss.
Hey, well, I agree with everyone on the panel and in regards, but but understanding that when you involved with this, first of all, by the time we're 24 years old, that's what I found for my identity. So what happens is that if you've been living in street culture, if you've been living whatever type of culture that you've been living in, by 24 years old, this is when it resides in you. This is when it resonates in you. So now what happens if you adopted a culture that's going to hurt you, a nefarious culture? What happens is that it's going to take you realizing that you first are doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Because no one has wrong plans. No one has plans to be in a bad situation. But what happens is you have to realize that whatever brain that you said is for you, that is not for you. You first, so we have to deal with the identity. We have to realize that we're dealing with people in a 24-year-old range, 20 to 24 years old, that they're dealing with their identity. So now with the identity is the culture that we've given them. So what happens is it's hard for them to change if they have this idea of what success is. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is these are seeds that are planted as childhood. You know what I mean? So what happens is that many people, aren't given this. So when you start saying, well, why this person can't do this? Well, what happens is that the person can't see themselves in that direction. The person can't see themselves making it in that. So they say that's for you. You know what I mean? But what can I do for me? You know what I mean? So what happens is that this is why we have these platforms, so that we can start making it tangible, so the person that can do for you. Because see, my job when I work, I'm a supervisor. I'm the case manager supervisor. I'm the clinical care coordinator supervisor. I have a master's degree in public administration. So what does that mean? That means that when I come on the set, I'm everybody's boss. All right. So I have to know a little bit about everything. You know what I mean? Because I have to do the reports. I have to gather the information. So I have to make sure the case managers are working effectively. I have to make sure the clinical care coordinators are working effectively. These are the things I have to do. So what happens is I understand what prevents, and I started as a case manager. So I understand what prevents people from moving forward. You know what I mean? And we got to get into their world. Like we put demands on them and say, yo, listen, come here and do this. But a lot of times, many of us can't go in their environment and perform to the utmost of performance that they perform at. So it's an environmental thing. When you take someone out their environment, now they can't perform because now they feel uncomfortable. So we got to understand these people feel uncomfortable. They're not on the corners. They're not in the street. They're used to being in these environments. They're not used to being in an environment where people are talking, using social etiquette. They're used to being in an environment where, with strong rules. So we got to understand to teach them how to use that strength in a mental manner and a mental mentality, and not just physical, because they're used to an environment that after my conversation, if my conversation don't work, then my muscle will. You know what I mean? So you have to give them options so them to understand that you can use another solution to use this intellect. Because intellect, when we hear the word intelligence, you know what I'm saying? That's just information. So being intelligent is just having a lot of information. So the more information you have, the more information you're able to grasp when you have tasks that come about you that you don't know how to deal with. You know what I mean? So that's when we got to meet people where they're at. And we got to understand that, it's a reason why our community is in poverty. Poverty is another form of slavery. You know what I mean? So it's a reason why our community is in poverty. So when the people react to their impoverished conditions, this is their reaction to their impoverished condition. Then that's sociology. Sociology is how people react to the environment. You know what I mean? So this is people reacting to the environment. And when people feel at their place, why do you think most of our people want to be rappers? They want to be rappers because they want to be heard. Everybody's walking around hurt, and everyone's pretending like they're not hurt. Everyone's hiding behind this facade. Some people, I applaud this brother for coming and saying what he said about dealing with alcohol issues. Because some people use shopping, some people use food, some people use so many vices to hide the pain that they're dealing with when you have to use self-discipline and self-love. You know what I'm saying? And these are what the spiritual systems are here for, like Unique said, all of them. They're all guides and measures for us to recognize that God loves us as individuals. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is that we have to exercise that, not worship it on the wall, but exercise it. You know, you can have exercise equipment in your house and just look at, you can worship it. And then just like you can look at your Bible and worship it on the panel. You can worship it, the cross on the wall, whatever deity that you pray to on the wall. But then you can actually go like you do with your exercise equipment, but then you can actually go in there and use it. And that's what we got to teach our people, to be able to go in there and use these things. Because they've heard of it. They've heard of much of what we said before. But now we're teaching them how to be able to use this so that they could have solutions. Because we have a lot of anti-social people. But we're trying to create this platform to create pro-social people. Because people are angry and they've given up. They've given up before they started because someone said that, you know, this is not for you. And you know what I'm saying? So you got, and you know, everybody doesn't take a hit in a fight the same way. So what happens, some people can take a hit, get knocked out. Some people take a hit and keep going. Well, this is a mental hit. This is a hit to the self-esteem. This is a hit to the identity. So we know right now we're building a platform so we can strengthen this identity, so we can strengthen the self-esteem, so that a brother can say tomorrow, I'm going to leave the gun alone. Because we have so many different devices destroyed. First of all, brothers are coming home thinking someone owes them something. There's people coming home from jail, sending other people to jail because they come home because they're angry. You know what I mean? So we got to understand that. We got to understand the idiosyncrasies that going on in our community so that we can start dealing with the real solutions. Because we're dealing with the superficial. But we got to go into the nitty-gritty, the idiosyncrasies. Because what happens is that when we deal with programs, we're dealing with theory. We're dealing with a theory. Theory means guess. Theory means hypothesis. You know what I mean? It's going to take the people who've really been affected by this. But like Unique said, the people who had the copper squat, they had to do the duck walk. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To have them to strip butt naked in front of a man, you know what I'm saying? That does something psychologically to you. You know what I mean? So what happens is that, you know what I'm saying, we have to strengthen the psychological process because we live by the bell. The children live by the bell in the school, and they live by the bell in the prison. You know what I'm saying? We got to let them live by the intellect. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us are living by the bell. And it's important that you know that we love each other and that we love one another, because if love is what's going to conquer it all.
Okay. Jay, I'm going to ask everybody this question before we tune out, right? If you had one thing to get across to the people watching about everything you have said tonight, what would it be?
Can I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Please.
Okay. So, I want to say that God says my people are struggling because of lack of knowledge, right?
I say Hosea 4:6.
All right now. So me taking psychology, what I've learned, I want to apply to this session right here. The grit mindset and the growth mindset. And I'm gonna give definitions of both, which is not long. The grit mindset is a positive non-cognitive trait based on an individual's perseverance of effort combined with the passion for a particular long-term goal or end state. Now, the growth mindset is people believe that their most basic abilities can be developed through dedication, which is something we spoke about, and hard work. Brains and talent are just a starting point. The view creates love of learning and resilience that is essential for great accomplishment. And I feel like those are two mindsets that I feel like we need as a whole, you know, especially in jail, coming out of jail, homelessness, it applies to all. You have to have both mindsets to know that I'm here for a purpose. Number one, find out your purpose, find it out what you want to do, and push for it. Whatever obstacle is the way, push through it. Because like I said, everybody has a purpose. It's up to you to find out what your purpose is. Because God has already got that all together. All right. And by finding your purpose, and what the panel was speaking of, everyone, finding your purpose is knowing your worth. All right. Knowing your knowledge that I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. God protects babies and fools. So I might be a fool, but I'm not a dummy and I'm not stupid. All right. So we need to stop treating ourselves as if we're that, because we're not. We're so much powerful beings than what we give ourselves credit for. First of all, the children of the God, like you said, God has different names, but there's only one. So you are,
Amen.
number one, you're a child of God. So that's power all in itself. Now he's given us power and authority. That means you can do all things. The same spirit that lied in Jesus for him to heal, teach, and all that is the same spirit that lies within you. That's number 2. 3, what are you good at? What are you good at, and apply that? Like you said, like brother said, Apple. Invest in that. Instead of buying the next iPhone, the iPhone 11, invest in that corporation. Because like I said, you have to have that business mindset. Like, yeah, I may work here, I may want this, but I'm going to own this one day, which means you're the boss. You hire, you do the firing. You don't work for nobody. So even in working for somebody, have that mindset like, you know what, I'm here now, but this is where I'm going to be later on. Set a long-term goal and a short-term goal. Once that short-term goal is met, then go to your long-term goal and apply that grits and growth mindset. But that's what I have to say about that one.
Amen.
Long.
Mhm.
That was solid.
Okay.
Thanks.
Go ahead. Hold up. Go ahead, sis. Marilyn, you want to say something?
No, I was clapping. That was great.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to.
Yeah, but I'll say something since I'm already there. So just to follow up with the sister right here, yeah, same thing. Just don't give up and don't believe in everything that society says, like, oh, you're a felon or you're this or you're that. Just focus on everything that she say. Basically, I'm gonna just follow up straight line. Just focus on who you are, where you want to be, and forget about who you was. I read earlier something that said, you're not gonna move on so you stop thinking about your past. And I was just going through a little thing like that, and I'm like, oh, that is, let me just focus a little bit more on that. And it's true. It's like we focus too much on, oh, but we went to prison. Oh, but we're Latino, we're African American. It's just so ignorant sometimes from us to just focus on things that are irrelevant. So for everybody watching this, just please do not give up. Do not give up, because like the sister said, we have all these powers to do whatever we want. Like, it's no stopping. Like, we might be right now working at a shoe store, for example, me. And now I'm working with people that I'm like, this is the people that I want to work with. This is the people that I want to help. Like, and I know that in the future, it's going to be a different level that I'm going to be. So it's no giving up, guys. No giving up.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you. That was
I
big.
was saying,
Shout out to Salam Ali. What's up, big bro? Glad you're at the hospital. You feeling better? Big shout out to Dollar Bill. But now y'all got to answer it now. If you had one thing to get across to those watching, what would it be? Get in there.
Who's next? Who's next?
I would say,
I'll answer.
Okay.
I think the theme that sister started, the great mindset and growth mindset, that's great, and that applies to everything, man. Like, just have a great mindset. And I'll say this too, man. Like, we are made from the creator. We're creators, so you go out there and create a brand, create a base, create a platform for yourself, just like the brother right here, Unique Becca did. Create something with your skill set and with your talents. Create that and own that and build it so that you can have a platform yourself where, regardless of pandemics, regardless of if your 9-to-5 changes, you have something that could be a foundation for you, and then later in your family. So I think the biggest thing to take away from is understand the paradigm we're in. Technology, use technology and use your skill set and use your talents to your benefit, because you can be the millionaire. You can be the first millionaire in your family. I intend to be the first millionaire in my family, and follow a plan. We all could do that, and we all are capable. So not only is everybody here on the panel capable, brother, that just tune in. Yo, shouts to you. Keep doing your alcohol program and everything else you're doing. Keep pushing that, because not just us 6 can do whatever, but everybody can do whatever they want to do, and we can use the platforms and everything we have in front of us to do that. So just believe it and push through. That's it.
All right, Sonny, it's on you, baby, because Haas gonna roll it out.
I know. Like listening to Haas. Okay. I would say just three things. One is honesty. You know what I mean? Brutal honesty
Haas,
with yourself. You have to be able to. You have to be able to just hold yourself accountable for the things that you're doing in your life. whether, you know, good or bad, meaning that the bad things you have to then go into to adjust. The good things you have to be able to clap for yourself. Because this journey, I would say it's a lonely one. It's a lonely one. You know, it's lonely when you're trying to do something, when you're trying to ascend to a different plateau. You're not, a lot of people are going to be left behind, and it's probably for a good reason. You know what I mean? The other thing I would say is discipline. Discipline is very important in all of these different aspects of the things that people talked about here. If you want to create something, you want to create something great. If you want to invest in something, if you want to invest in yourself, if you want to remove certain things from your life, if you want to mend certain relationships with people that have been broken, all of this takes discipline. And you know, that goes hand in hand with being honest with yourself. And lastly, I would like to say, I think that before any of these things can really come into fruition, you have to create some sort of structure that works for your life. A structure is very important. I say that because a lot of the times brothers go into prison and go into jail in these institutions, and they say, well, it helped me. You know, jail helped me. And the reason why it helped is because there's structure. There's structure. It forces you to be on a timetable. It forces you to get up at a certain time. It forces you to eat at a certain time, eat certain things. Obviously, there's chaos as well in there, but it also provides a level of structure. And I think that we could bypass the government trying to implement the structure and do it ourselves without having to be imprisoned. Because I believe that we have the strength and the know-how to create a system that works for ourselves and not being forced to do it. So that's my little piece right there.
Thank you. Hey, I bet you never thought you would spend your night like this when you got on my damn Instagram. You won't do that.
Not at all. I was at work. I was at work before to chop it up one time. I appreciate this for real.
We appreciate you, bro, because you gave a lot of wisdom up here today, man. And you know, you might have reached someone. You know what I mean?
Amen. That's right.
Yeah, because your story was powerful, brother. You came a long way, and you hold it together, man. And that's what this is about. We're here to help each other.
God bless you. That's right.
Each other down. We're not here to judge each other. None of that.
That's right.
We all got skeletons in our closet.
Yes.
We all got
Amen.
a skeleton
Right.
in us. You
That's
know what I mean?
right.
We all have a skeleton within us.
Within us.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And we all have the will. We all have the will and the drive. Yeah, I came home running and doing me because that's me. You know what I mean? You do you. I mean, if you could watch me and learn something from me that inspire you, you know what I mean, to take it to the next level, then that means that my light was that bright that it touched you to go with your light so you could shine a little brighter and elevate a little higher. And Allah will grab me and take me a little higher for doing my job. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
That's right. When I touch one, man, like y'all started touch on, everything start with self, man. You know,
That's right.
you must first learn to look, listen, observe, and love and respect yourself. You know what I mean? You have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can never love anyone else.
Exactly.
You can never love anyone else if you don't love yourself. You know what
That's
I mean?
right. That's right.
And if you don't respect yourself, you're going to degrade yourself, and no one else is going to respect you. So don't get mad and say you degraded me. You know what I mean? Because you didn't respect yourself. You got to respect yourself. Everything start with self, man. Start from that one skeleton within you. You know what I mean? And the will that God gave you to push forward. You know what I mean? God told me to go get mine, man. I'm not letting nobody stop me. Somebody
That's right.
As far as, you know what I mean? You know, if your passion is in something, go for it. You know what I mean? And even if you don't know what you're doing, you follow your heart and it would lead you. And that's all I'm doing. I'm following my heart to save the youth and it's working.
Amen.
And that's all it is. There's no ulterior motive behind it, no nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody give me no money up here. You understand? You know? And like I said, I'm not here chasing 1 million views. We had 50-something views or 100 and something views. I'm cool with that.
Right.
But the numbers is gonna grow because they're gonna tell a friend to tell a friend. Right?
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
And can I say before we sign off, I want to talk about each one teach one, and this is because and I want to apply what, like I said, what is I'm learning. I'm trying to apply to this panel that your followers, our sisters and brothers, children, small and different, can learn from this. It's called transferable skills, and this applies to everything we just did. All just cut bases. Transferable skills are those that apply to many situations. The knowledge that you've gained, with whether it's a major goal, can be learned. So basically what I'm saying is transferable skills is whatever you learn today, you can apply to your outer life, whether it's work, business, school, whatever. Everything that you have learned tonight, you can apply. This is not just something us six can do. No, like brother said, this is something everybody can do because it's each one teach one. If we can get to one or two people, we know that we've done our job. And that's just what it is, because we're here to help. We've been through, now we want to share our testimony with others. And they like, I went through that too. And if that person can get through it, I know I can. Look at this brother Unique. Been locked up 20-some years, came home, look what he's doing. He's applying what it is he's been through, what he's learned, so that he can help others so they won't make the same mistake. And if you have made the same mistake, giving you avenues that you can reach to be able to overcome and, elevate. So that's what I wanted to say before, we wrapped up.
Amen, sister.
Let me sum this up because Big Hoss always got something to say. We got to let him close out because that's my brother. I want y'all to know, man, look, the universe is round, man. Right?
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Nothing leaves this universe. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You catch a cold today, someone else go catch it tomorrow. And it's for infinity. That cold would never leave.
That's right.
So, like,
that's right.
Not just what you learn today, you can learn to apply across the board. Everything that you learn could be applied across the board because it'll fit all situations that you'll go through in life, as long as you put your mind to bring the pieces together to make them make sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how you put forward. So that means that when you catch a problem and you know how to take another problem and another situation and another incident down there and put it all together to understand it as one issue, man, you just knocked out 10 other bullshit problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just knocked out 10. You know what I mean? So that's 10 down. And as you get them, and then life gets easier. I've been going 26 years, but none of this is complicated to me. It's like,
that's right.
It's like I could do this with my blindfolders on. It's that simple. You understand? I know what you need because I know what I need, and I know what I need. And I made it up. So I know what everybody down here needs. And God forbid you don't try and go up here because it cost me 26 goddamn years. So I'm not bragging. I'm not saying I'm up here like I'm above you. You know what I mean? It cost me. You know what I mean? It cost me. And I'm telling you, you don't want to get there. You know what I mean? They didn't want me to come out here to give you what I'm giving you, but I'm giving you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because you deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I want you to have it. But I want to thank everybody for being here. Big Hoss, close out for me, bro. I know you got something to say. I just want to say I'm thankful to be up here tonight. I love everybody. I'm thankful that everybody shared tonight. I just want to, expand on, what the young lady said about transferable skills. You know what I mean? And, about the fact that, transferable skills means that if you worked at McDonald's, that, you know how to deal with mentally ill chemical abusers. You know customer service. You could be a case manager. If you work transferable skills means if you was as a supermarket cashier, then that you could run a Fortune 500 company. See, what happens is about the belief in yourself. And what happens is Booker T. Washington said, excellence is doing a common thing in an uncommon way. You know what I mean? So we all here. This is what Brother Unique is doing, and this is what we all here doing, and this is what we all here showing. So that tomorrow, that the brothers we will love somebody and not hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully tomorrow the police have one person less to arrest. You know what I mean? That's what we here for. Hopefully that that tomorrow a child be able to go see their father came and picked them up today. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. We doing here healing. You know what I'm saying? And we thankful that the Brother Unique has allowed us,
come heal the community, because out of all of the brothers that that came with that have these type of platforms, this is the only brother that came and said, "I'm sorry for what I've done." You know what I'm saying? He redeemed himself. He's the only one that said it. No one has said, "You know what? I help poison the community." No one has asked for redemption. Everyone wants the glory, but no one wants to be humble. And the fact that that we have a person here that to show the young brothers, both sides, how to be cocky and how to be humble. You know what I mean? Because it's the balance, it's the duality in life. Life is a duality. And we use the word cognizant a lot tonight. You know what I'm saying? The word cognizant means being aware. You know what I'm saying? So we must be aware. We must be aware of our place and our duties and our communities into ourselves, and to love ourselves. And love ourselves to start making the right decision. Loving ourselves doesn't mean we go out and go shopping. Loving ourselves doesn't mean, that we start, putting on facades. Loving ourselves is we start doing the due diligence to understand who we are.
Amen.
Amen.
I like it. Thank everybody. I really enjoyed that. Let's get it right. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And I got everybody's information.
Yo, Haas, what's your IG, man?
And
oh man, I ain't even on social media.
Grown folks talk, you know what I mean? So just like back in the day, we used to have the rap battle, you know what I mean? Outside the Mecca to see who get on the stage at the Mecca Audio. Baby girl got involved in rap battle and she made it on the stage Friday night to the grown folks talk. You know what I mean?
All right, baby girl.
Baby girl coming Friday night to the grown folks
Friday,
talk.
congratulations.
Right? But don't come in with all that crazy passion wanting to argue, because I pop slick on grown folks talk.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
You get the upbringing on grown folks.
Yeah, so don't come there getting in your feelings. I think I need to send you an episode so you can see someone that did. All right, we just go over there and have fun, man, because it's a family.
We just have fun, just good fun.
You know what I mean? And Sonny, I'm gonna send you something too so you can check it out. I definitely would like you to meet the people up there, because I want to bring the people from the subscribers that be watching me. I want them to come up there so we can see that we all human. You know what I mean? Nobody meets anybody anymore. Since I come home, you can't walk down the street and say, "Hey, how you doing? My name is such and such." You know what I mean? But you can text somebody on the Facebook and say, "Hey, I'm such and such," in the inbox. But you can't walk by and say, "Hey, I'm such and such."
Right.
What went wrong in 26 years? You know what I mean? People that say they sit on the couch and text their girl, "Yo, get me a bed." You know what I mean? They watching a football game, text and say, "Yo, I'm thinking about you, baby." But they watching the game. But they text.
We become dehumanized. Dehumanization.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, dude laying in the goddamn bed and he texts his girl good night. What the fuck is going on? You know? Anyway, man, let me plug my little joint, man. You know what I mean? So y'all already know.
Hey, good brother, what's your Instagram?
You know what I mean? Rowan Harlem, cop the book at a Rowan Harlem.
Cop the Rowan Harlem. Tell a friend, cop a Rowan Harlem.
If you're scared of the real, don't touch it. I'm gonna get it. But if you want the real, you cop a Rowan Harlem. I ain't getting not one negative comment, and they love to hate. So
they love to hate.
They ain't even fake the hate, even though they'll get chopped up by the people that's gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean?
Don't forget, tell a friend about a Rowan Harlem.
Tell a goddamn friend to come to Rowan.com. I'm out, man. Thank everybody for coming.
All right.
All right.
All right.